AMA question. When did you guys know
yes.
you wanted kids? At what age is too early to get a vasectomy?
Does it say? I have this open. Does he say?
Well,
how old he
I
is?
have the most interesting answer,
That's the
and I
whole
think
question.
Bastilli has a cool answer because I believe his travel year right here is the preamble to beginning his family. If I'm not wrong, I personally knew for a long time that I didn't want any.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't want the responsibility, the financial burden, and I just wasn't interested in creating a little me. And you know, there's the whole having to get married thing before that, and most of the time anyway. And I've always known that I didn't want any kids, and I still am there. You know, throughout my life, people say, when you're 25, you'll change your mind. When you're 30, you'll change your mind. And just every milestone goes by, and I'm just like, man, I made a good decision. This is you knew at 19. You knew at 19. So for me, it's just like, I don't want that. I'll get a dog. If I need some sort of mentorship, good feelings, Big Brother program, right? You know, I could do something like that. I could go Woody Allen with it. You're right. Yeah, you could always adopt
a kid and then fuck him later for the Woody.
Yeah, like a good 16-year-old Asian lady, you know, something like that, who needs a little male guidance.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a bit passe. It's been done. So
it's been done, but hey, if it's broke, don't fix it. Okay. And
wait, that's not how that goes.
Yeah, the thing is, if it's broke, he don't fix it. Not gonna fool me again. Yeah,
that's how I view that one. So yeah, for me, it's the opposite. And as far as what age is too young to get a vasectomy, I think you should wait till you're when do they say your brain fully develops? 25. Yeah. I think at least get to 25 before you make that decision, because it's not there's a chance it doesn't go back. Sure. They can reverse it, but it's not flipping a light switch. It's not 100%.
Yeah, they might.
But it's not like you can't develop sperm anymore. You could always.
You might not deliver it very well. I think that's
they can go in there with a syringe and remove some, or you could freeze some and keep it on tap, which isn't prohibitively expensive.
My friend had the syringe method of having kids. He had cystic fibrosis. And one of the things about cystic fibrosis is your body produces all this mucus and phlegm, and you think of it as a digestive or respiratory thing, but it's all over. And his body produced sperm just fine, but it didn't deliver it because his pipes are clogged. And they went in there and extracted sperm with a needle somehow. It sounds terrible. And he had twins.
Oh, that's pretty common with that, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I guess as like you get it. They put 6 eggs in there, and then of course a cotillion sperm. And sometimes
were they identical twins?
No.
Ah, okay, then that is the case. Yeah, I was going to say.
You said a cotillion sperm.
I made up a number.
A bunch of them walking in with top hats and canes. Oh, you first, sir. Oh, you first. Sir.
I used to say a Brazilian as my imaginary number, but that already means something. So
no, cotillion is better.
So learn the bigger numbers.
I think 25 is still too early to be getting your.
What is your number?
Self-snipped. I would say 30.
That was mine too. I don't think 25 is crazy. That was Kyle's, and I don't think it's insane. But I like.
What if
30.
you already had 3 kids by the age of 25?
Then we're saying
the ship sailed. Yeah.
That's a good question, and that would change things if you had.
A mate of mine had a kid, and he's just like, "Nah, one's enough," and he's like, "Done, snip," and straight away it was like, "1 kid's enough." And I know heaps of people that in the army, guys get shit for free, so. In the healthcare wise, so it's just like, hey, I'll get a circumcision, I'll get a fucking vasectomy. They do it all the time. So
opting into a circumcision, just
you know that thought of
big exercise coming up in July. Get out of that one, circumcision. Honestly, it happens more than you think.
Wow. Just do the exercise and keep dick skin, man.
Isn't there some other cosmetic surgery they could pick instead? Right? You know what? I've always thought my nose was a little extra. Let's do that.
You know, I've always identified as someone without a right pinky toe.
No, mess with if you had kids young, and you
sure. Well, even
I think it really comes down to how old you are when you have your first kids.
If you have kids young, and that's your permanent family. If you had kids young, and you and the mom are not going to be married forever, then you might opt to go for a round 2 also. Life is
do better next time. Yeah. That's what my dad did.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like this thought that you're better than. I don't know the difference between step and half.
Oh, I'm number
half-sister,
one.
right? Yeah.
I'm number one.
Right? It
Believe
took a
Kyle's
couple
number
tries
one.
to create the perfect child, and
Yeah, I
Then
won't. I
after
won't
Kyle,
quote my
he
dad,
stopped.
but I won't quote my dad or anything. But number one here. All right, there were
Nice.
there were 3 or 4 attempts beforehand. I'm not. These weren't miscarriages. Well, not by the
Bush.
most literal sense, but
Yeah.
but these individuals are a tier below number one here.
Your mom's just, Lamar, I can't keep getting abortions based on your hunch about.
I'm telling you, Holly, that's a demon baby.
I want to go. Only Kyle answered the when do you know you wanted kids? And that's a weird question for me because I always planned on having kids, but I don't know that it was always my plan, right? In the same way that I always planned on finishing high school. Like it was just the autopilot that you do. It wasn't until it was like in my 20s or so that I feel like it was something I wanted instead of just something that I was programmed to do, if that makes any sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, I did want kids for a while, and then when I got to my mid and late 20s, it was more like, a lot of it was I was seeing my friends start having kids, and it wasn't what I imagined of like, oh, they're gonna have no life, they're gonna be totally boring now, have to stay in every weekend, do fucking nothing, and obviously they can't come out and hang out as much as they did because these kids are very young for the most part, but they're still finding time to hang out, do stuff, have fun, go to Blues games, come hang out at my house or whoever's house, drink, go to bars, whatever. And so it was kind of and also seeing how much, how happy they are with it. Like they never talk about it being a burden. They never talk about I'm sure that in their head sometimes they're like, God, it would be so nice to just do whatever the fuck I want. But the reward they seem to get from raising their kids is way, way bigger than that, seemingly from the outside looking in. And so I don't know. And then I also see people in their 50s, especially women who don't have kids, and something happens in the 40s, early 50s for women who never had kids, and they start to become weird. And I feel like there's a misplaced parental urge, so that instead of telling their kid, don't touch that, don't do this, don't do that, they hop on Twitter and they're like, you can't say that, you can't say this, you can't say that, trying to police other adults. And I'm like, that's misplaced maternal instinct maybe. And so I do want kids.
Those are those same ladies who end up getting dogs that they take to dog shows. They love obedience training.
Yeah, they love obedience training. They're the ones who are like, oh, I need my stress relief dog. It's like, bitch, I wish we could open the hatch of this plane and throw you out. We'll keep the dog.
Oh, I'm on the other team. If someone brings a stress relief dog, I like that dog.
I like that too.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think I'll get a little secondhand stress relief off of this dog.
I wish there were
little dog like this, A-okay. I've seen people bring full-size Labradors.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah, if there was a full-size Labrador standing on the chair looking back at me, we'd be friends by the end of the flight.
Yeah, I'd be feeding him stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
Have a little bit of my Bloody Mary. Yeah.
Here's a
I don't mind. Have a little bit of my Bloody Mary. The dog's just in the front seat. My dog.
Not my dog, not my problem. Not my dog, not my problem. Yeah, I wish there were dogs everywhere. Like whenever I see that, especially if they're well trained, like sweet dogs, and especially if it's a lab. That's my favorite breed of dog. I think they're just so. They look like they're smiling all the time. They're just happy to see you. But what I don't get on board with is the service animals that are like, oh, that's your comfort giraffe. That's your stress beagle. That's your stress Bengal tiger.
That's your feel good chinchilla.
No, I was waiting for I've literally seen, and I don't know what service they were providing, but I've seen a service parrot and a service iguana.
Actually, those I'm okay with because those are small and you can control. I'm talking about those people who bring full size pigs and ostrich flamingos. Like if your animal's going to inconvenience me, and if you brought an animal that doesn't control its bowels, if it's just, oh, he's marking. No, you bring a chinchilla on board and he decides to spray hot, acrid urine at me. Like it's not going to work. No.
My theory with the iguana and the parrot is that they're not stress relief animals at all. They just prefer that to however you normally bring animals on planes. What do they like? Drug them and stick them downstairs and.
Yeah, how can a lizard possibly be comforting?
Right. So they're just using this.
Lenore!
It's my service lizard. Don't ask any questions. It's medical privacy as a way to get them inside.
Checkmate.
Yeah, I like seeing the dogs as long as they're little ones. It's more, I have a little tinge of frustration at the people bringing them because maybe I'm wrong, but my feeling is always like, I guarantee that you flew before you were allowed to bring this dog with you. I think you're trying to skirt the rules with some I'm stressed out nonsense when in reality, you're just trying to not have to put your pup with all the rest in the cargo.
I would much rather see you bring your Great Dane on this plane than your crying baby.
I don't know. Those Great Danes fart.
Actually, yeah. Great Dane, bad choice. You know,
they can
the little
actually.
guy.
Let's go to the same size. Beagle over baby. That's my whole slogan, campaign promise.
Yeah, if it's a well-behaved dog and it's not yipping,
they should put the babies down below in cages.
Yeah, like they do it in China.
I actually hate the fact that the kids go on the plane first. You know, when they're parents with young infants and elderly on the plane. I reckon put the kids on last. So you got that, like, you're all settled in. Yep, sweet. Now let the fucking let those screaming fucking children.
Yeah.
Right? And it minimizes their time on the plane.
Exactly.
That's
last
true.
on.
That's genius.
Oh, we didn't get Bastillion on the the what is it?
Let me read it again.
Snipped.
When did you guys know you wanted kids? At what age is too early to get a vasectomy?
I always wanted to have kids when I was young. I was like, oh, I'm going to have kids when I'm 20. They'll have kids when they're 20. I'll be a great grandparent by the time I'm 60. We're all sweet, you know what I mean? But then I turned 20, and I was like, nah, she can wait for a while. I don't know. I come from a really big family. My dad, Catholic. I'm one of 8, you know? And I don't think I'm number 1, mate. I'm number 7.
Number 7?
So, kind of lost in the mix there.
Yeah, I was like, still haven't got the right one yet.
We're getting close.
But yeah, so for me, I was always like, oh, I'll just have kids when I'm financially stable and happy with what I'm doing. And that's where it was always at. So it's like, I never was once in the army like, I'm going to have kids when I'm in the army, because fuck that. You're never home. Your kid will grow up. You'll never know what it is. It's like, what are you doing with your life? So for me, it was always like, I'm going to get out of the army, then kids. And then Europe came along. Well, like after Europe's a good time to have kids. Finished our traveling for a bit. But see, you guys are talking about how you get locked
just
down.
for practice.